What is going on, everyone? Tis Miyanovich, and I welcome you to the main dojo, the place where we process the raw struggles of men in an unprecedented paradigm. There is something inside of you that wants you to be more than what you are. But there also may be something inside of you that wants you to go down. And for some of us, that means going down for good. So, remove your ego, drop your bullshit, become vulnerable, and step into the dojo, mate. So what do you think about, maybe I'll ask you this. Are you coaching right now?
So actually I haven't told anybody out in the YouTube world this, but I just recently started working as a coach at the Fernando Vargas's gym.
Okay.
So the gym is called Vargas Boxing Gym, and yeah, I started training there, and before this podcast, I was wondering, like, now that I'm working at the adult daycare I'm working at the adult daycare full time, and I'm also working at Vargas's gym as a coach, and I gotta, obviously I have to make a lot of time for my family and my wife, and I gotta, pets. The only thing that I don't have is kids yet. Right. So, like, how am I gonna manage this YouTube thing? Because I put a lot of thought and time and effort into the videos that I do, and then I respond to everybody's comments, and I'm like, how am I gonna continue this? And I was honestly thinking, like, I don't know if I'm going to have to stop the Coach Pillowfist channel, but this podcast really just kind of like told me, you know what, I can't do that.
I've been doing, YouTube is like probably the main thing I do online. Like, I've kind of had it with social media. Other shit. Like, YouTube is where it's at for me. I am shocked that you don't have more followers. And I think a lot of the people that follow you kind of say the same thing sometimes. You'll see it in the comment section. And it's like a tragedy to me. It's like, Chris should have you should easily have 100,000 followers. Like, you're a humble guy, so you're probably not the best guy to get the perspective from on your own channel. It's worth way more. Like, it's way more valuable. It's as valuable as Tony Jeffrey's channel. It's as valuable as JT Van Veldhausen, who I think is a very valuable channel, or Coach Anthony, or World Class Boxing Gym, Tom Yankello. So Tom's gym is actually close to my parents' house in Pittsburgh, where I'm from. But your shit, it's the way that you do it is what makes it awesome, because you make it fun and funny and nice and short, and it's right to the point, and it has tremendous value. So I would consider it a tragedy if it stopped. But I think more people, you have to justify it if you have other priorities. More people need to be watching it. Like, you should easily have 100,000 followers. And I felt that way for a while, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, because, I want to at least try to help. But I'd understand if you stopped, because like having kids and having a family, once that starts, dude, fuck, it's like, all bets are off. You're going to want to just prioritize that. I mean, even if you did like one video or like 4 videos a year, I think that would still be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's stopping completely. I think that would be fucking awful.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. If I do have to make adjustments to that, then it would probably be something like, you know what, I'm just going to do a one video every like 3 weeks or something like that.
Are you going to the Vargas gym like every night?
No, right now I'm going there Monday through Thursday.
Okay. And
the gym is still kind of in development, like they're still kind of newish in their location. So it's great to be a part of, them coming up and formulating how they're going to be established in the Las Vegas community. And so, yeah, it's awesome to be of help to them. They're a great family, and it's just awesome.
You're in on the ground floor with them, helping them to do development. Do you get like your own workouts in there, or are you just like helping other people coaching?
At this time, I'm just doing the coaching aspect of it. But I would like to go in there and get my, hit some rounds on the bag and do my shadow boxing and stuff.
It's just more time, like time you don't have.
Time I don't have, yeah.
How do you, with all this, your schedule, how do you get workouts in, weights, cardio, boxing, whatever it is? How do you find time for that?
So for a long time I was waking up like earlier before work. I'd wake up at 4:30 in the morning, go to the gym, get my lifting done because lifting was my priority. Like, as long as I get my lifting done, then that's fine. I don't have to box or do my cardio, but now I'm thinking, you know what, like it is important for me as a boxing coach to have good cardio. So trying to run more and yeah, maybe I need to start using the Vargas Boxing Gym facility to start getting my own little workouts in there.
Yeah. It's a great, I mean, I think boxing is just phenomenal in terms of getting somebody to focus on working out because it covers everything. Just being able to do bag workouts, use the rope, use the slip line. Oh God, the workouts are just like real honest to goodness couple rounds of shadow boxing. I had no idea, dude. I had no idea that could be just like a phenomenal workout. It is hard, man. It's hard to keep like just for one round to keep your bounce on, just for like one round. You can get gas just doing that. So I just want people out there to hear because I sing the praises of boxing workouts, man. I think they're a phenomenal way to get in shape or be in shape. And this is another question I wanted to ask you because, I'm going to back up for 1 second. One of the reasons I haven't been hitting the bag is I jerked my elbow pretty badly. So what happened was I was doing power shots at the end of my workout. So I would like be pre-exhausting with technical work and doing all kinds of other stuff. And then I was like, okay, for like 5 minutes, I'm just going to fucking drill this bag like George Foreman with lead hooks. But what I had done was I just pre-exhausted all of the support from my joints doing a bag workout for 40 minutes. And now, right. And I didn't know this. Like, this is why it probably would have been good maybe to ask you. I should have asked you or something. But then I'd set up for like 5 minutes and I would like, okay, I'm going to George Foreman lead hooks for 5 minutes straight. I'll take a break whenever I can't breathe and then I'll get back into it. And I fucked my elbow up, dude, so bad one day. Like I felt it. And I don't think anything ripped, but like I just threw a really hard shovel hook and it went like my elbow went and it took almost a year to get that elbow back. So, yeah, to anyone who's listening out there, do not pre-exhaust your body and then go do power shots for 5 minutes. And I don't know if you've ever hit these fucking bags, dude, that are out at like fitness. Oh, you have, because I've seen you. But some of these bags at these fitness centers or the YMCA, it's like the bag is made out of wood and there's like 1 inch of foam around the outside of it. And they want you to come in and like you're destroying your hands. And that's kind of how the bag was at the YMCA was. So I'm like trying to be George Foreman into a block of wood that has a heavy bag cover over it. It's basically like what it was. I'm lucky I didn't fuck my shoulder up or my joint, my wrist or my elbow worse. Do you have any thoughts or recommendations on like heavy bags and stuff like that? How, in terms of that, like, are there good heavy bags and bad heavy bags for you?
Yeah, I definitely think like heavy bags are definitely something that it's like what you pay is what you get.
Yeah.
Because some of the heavy bags, like at first they might feel good, but then like I noticed that some of the cheaper ones, like the padding starts to really fall down to the bottom, where the bottom is like super rock solid, and then the top starts getting a little too soft to the point that it's ineffective. So yeah, I think that what you pay is what you get with heavy bags, but a lot of people, they want like the big, like 120-pound ones and, the ones that don't move. But I think that you can really benefit from the lighter, heavy bags like the 80 or 50-pound ones, because it helps you to learn that power is not everything. You need to learn how to control the bag and control your punches and, control the speed, timing, because if you're punching a 120-pound bag and it's still swinging around on you like crazy, then you're doing something wrong.
Right.
So people need to learn, what, maybe you should get one of the smaller bags and learn to control it and control your punches. Then you can move on to the 100-pound bags. I think that even high level boxers can benefit from punching the lighter bags as well. So
What do you think of the aqua bag thing?
it's cool for like a couple rounds, but I think the heavy bag is probably like there's no replacement for it. I just hate the aqua bags that you can't throw body shots. Like I love body shots. I think it's very important that you mix your punches together. And yeah, the aqua bag just doesn't offer that.
Right. So speaking of like injuries and you throwing punches like a hurricane, because there's enough power in the human body, you can break your own hand with your own punches, like kind of easily. I mean, an untrained person. But I think even a trained person, if they get tired, with the amount of juice you can put into a shot, you could fucking destroy a joint, a wrist, an elbow, a shoulder. When you were moving from like sort of like dynamic fighter into, Johnny Power Shot, have you ever injured anything? Did you have any issues?
Yeah, there was I did suffer a shoulder injury, and I'm not sure if it developed because of like from weightlifting, and then the boxing stuff just kind of made it worse, but I had a shoulder injury on my left shoulder to where I really just couldn't throw hooks or jabs or really anything. And yeah, maybe like I started irritating it through weightlifting, and then it just kind of like the boxing just really made it worse.
Yeah. Did you just take a total break, or would you like do workouts with the good arm, or what did you do?
I'm somebody that really struggles with taking breaks. Like it's just very mentally like a lot of mental anguish if I can't train. And so I got to listen to my body more. And so yeah, I really should have been taking breaks, and it was really when I started taking breaks that it started healing more.
Yeah.
And I started going to physical therapy, but yeah, something I struggle with.
Is it still nagging you, that left shoulder?
No, not anymore.
Okay, good. I feel like that my elbow thing is good now, and I've done a couple workouts and it's okay. I just don't want to, I need to get a better setup at home because I don't want to hit the bag at the Y anymore. Or if I just go to whatever gym has them, I feel like those gym bags are the same thing. It's like a block of wood with foam wrapped around it. And I don't want to waste myself. I don't want to injure myself again. So I've basically just been doing weights and like speed bag, and I've kind of been backing off until I get a better setup at home that I can use, because I love boxing. I don't want to start going to boxing and having this feeling inside of me like, oh, I don't want to do this because I'm going to get hurt. Right. I don't want that shit. So one thing I noticed whenever I started to learn actually how to throw shots and pretty decent technique and deliver that power into the bag was I noticed I started to calm down as a person and get confident when I'm out in the world, which is interesting because I never, as a man, I don't think I ever felt that level of calm before. Like I'm not worried about handling myself, but after thousands of times of delivering a hook or an overhand right, you just start to feel like I could execute this in the world if I needed to, right? It might not go well for me. I might break my hand on a dude's forehead or something, but I feel like more so than before, without ever sparring or going to a gym or having a coach or anything like that, I feel like I could throw shots successfully if I needed to. And it's calmed me down as a person, and it has given me a little bit more confidence. Do you feel like you have that because of boxing? Like you can walk through the world and you're all right?
100%. 100%. I believe that, like when somebody becomes well versed in some type of martial art or combat sport, it just gives you that confidence, and you feel like, obviously like you have to be cautious out there, and you can't think that you're invincible, but it gives you confidence that you're able to protect yourself and you're able to protect anybody else around you that might be in danger. So
I think a lot of people that don't understand might think that it would be the opposite, that when you gain this ability that somehow a grown man would become more aggressive. But in most cases, in my opinion, it has the opposite effect. It just chills you out. And do you feel like because you've taken shots to the face and you've been in fights, you're not really looking for that shit out in the world? Like you're going to try to choose something that's not that?
Yeah, definitely, because the combat sports like itself, it just that there's my proof that I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to act tough and try to fight people out on the street or anything like that, because I've already been through that. And same thing for people that get into boxing from, from a rough childhood or something like that. If they don't have boxing as that outlet and they go out in the street, like people out on the street always have something to prove.
Yeah.
And if a boxer is confident that like what they do in the gym or what they do in the ring is proof enough, like they're not going to, they know what will happen if they get in a street fight with one of these punks that want something, that want to prove something.
Yeah. If you see people mixing it up out there, or people stirring it up, or like somebody tries to get into it with you because of something that happened in the traffic or on a sidewalk or something, do you feel like your first move would be to be diplomatic and to try to diffuse it and not go anywhere near lighting some dude up?
Yes.
Have you always had that? Do you think that's just like a part of Chris? Like you're going to be kind of a kinder, diplomatic person first, and then if you have to go on somebody, you will?
I believe so. I've never since childhood, I've never had anger problems. So I've been able to control myself better than most people. So.
If you didn't, you kind of, I don't want to say you look menacing. You don't look menacing. But you have a lot of tats and you're muscular now. You do have a look like, I'm not fucking with that guy. I'm not sure what's up with that guy, if he's nice or whatever, but that's not the guy that I'm going to be fucking around with today. So you have that, all kind of already, like advertising. And your calmness is interesting. Your kindness is interesting because it's kind of, conflicts with that a little bit because you're like laid back and shy, yet you look like you could destroy somebody. There's like no middle, right? So I don't think anybody would really want to stir it up with you out there anyway, but you just seem like you have the kind of personality where if all your tats are covered, no one's going to get into it with you anyway because you're nice. Yeah, it's been real interesting, man. I never thought in a million years that like at the age of 50-ish, I would come up on boxing and be like, oh God, I've been waiting for this or looking for this my whole life. Where the fuck has this been? It really is amazing, man. I'm glad I got a chance to meet you, and I'm really glad that I get a chance to watch your channel because it's informative and it makes me want to be in the art form of throwing punches is beautiful. Right. I just love it. And, I don't really want to go into a gym and take shots to the head. Like I use my brain for a living. Like I don't want to do that, but I love boxing. And so many people are getting into boxing now because of YouTube and the internet and fitness. Did you do like fitness boxing? Type stuff at the gym that you taught at in Arizona, or?
Yeah, that's what it mostly was like fitness type of boxing there.
Yeah. What do you think about fitness boxing? Like every time I see a class, I'm like, I could go do it, but I could probably do a workout better, or like, it's not like really inspiring to me. What do you think of that? I think it's good for people to do, just not for me.
Yeah, I honestly think that it's awesome. It's like, cause yeah, I mean, of course people can just go to, some place or get their own bag or something like that. But it's just not the same, because you're in a high energy environment. You've got a coach there that's like, instructing the class and pushing you. You got other people there. Like, it's just like, if you like that group environment and you like the energy that, of being around other people that are working towards the same goal, like, I think it's awesome, Cause yeah, like, how many people out there, they, work out at home or something. It's just not the same as if you have like other people there that are around the same, goal and friends and stuff like that,
There's synergy in the room when you have people. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
I would advise anyone to get into any kind of boxing, any kind of learning how to throw shots and hitting the bag and doing classes for sure. I just think it's amazing. I wish I'd come across it earlier in life. So I'll wrap up with one more because we've been going for an hour and a half, and right now is when everybody's brains turned into fucking scrambled eggs because no human should be talking for 2 hours straight. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the conception of like masculinity and manhood real quick. Like in the boxing world. So there's like the typical strict definition of what makes a man, a masculine, a valid man, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're an alpha, a dude that can take care of business with physicality. And there's men, and then there's pussies. Like, the world's a little bit more complex than that. I think masculinity and manhood is a little bit more complex than that. But in the boxing world, what's it like? Is there a lot of that, like, you're a man if you do these things and everyone else is a pussy? Is there a lot of that shit? Or did you find that it's kind of a lot more just like regular life?
No, so I think that throughout time it has gotten healthier because back in the days when I was like an active fighter, it was definitely more on the toxic masculinity side,
Yeah.
like if you're not freaking throwing freaking putazos and sparring with each other and like then you're not a man or something like that. Like obviously somebody's not gonna directly say that, but that's kind of like what the pressure is, of being a man, is that you're always sparring and always hitting power shots and I think like nowadays, like I'm glad that stuff like mental health is a lot more advocated for, and the toxic masculinity thing, it's a lot more neutralized now, like you got fighters like Canelo, for example, right? Like Canelo's like one of the best fighters in the world, but he doesn't act like this like super masculine. And coming from Mexican culture too, he doesn't act like this like super masculine guy. And some people, a lot of Mexican fans don't like him for that reason. And like there's this video that I saw of Canelo in his gym, training with his little son one time.
Mhm.
And his son says to him in this video, like the son is like, I I got hit real good and I didn't cry or something like that. He said like I didn't cry. I got hurt or I got a cut or something and I didn't cry. And Canelo tells to his son like it's okay to cry. Like nothing happens if you cry, no pasa nada if you cry, like, men cry, like it's fine.
Yeah.
So if you need to cry, then cry.
Yeah.
And I respected Canelo so much more after that, because the amount of toxic masculinity that has been put on, pressured towards men is just not healthy.
Yeah. And the expectations, we can't meet those expectations
Mhm.
always. And I don't think the men that carry the toxic masculinity type ethos, I don't think they meet it either. And they just
Mhm.
delude themselves that they do. And the men that stay so narrow, they don't make it. They end up super fucked up because as we talked about in the beginning, like you hit 35 years old and the game changes, man.
Mhm.
It's more of you got to take care of yourself for the long run. You got to take care of your family. You can't be so hard. You can't be so absolutist. And I was just wondering, because I'm not in the world of boxing, that obviously in the old days, it would be like you need to like chew on fucking nails and take 1,000 shots to the head, right? But we see where that goes. I mean, all of the famous boxers, they struggle later in life.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to get your perspective on that. Coincidentally, my wife is from Central America, so she's from El Salvador. So your wife is from Mexico. My wife is from El Salvador.
Uh-huh.
The El Salvadorians are softer, but they still have machismo culture. They
Uh-huh.
still have male dominance type shit. It's just different.
Mhm.
It's still half bullshit, right? But they're
Uh-huh.
not as like muscular with their machismo. It's just more like, I'm the man, I'm in charge, and you're in your place. Like the woman is in her place. But yeah, it's super prevalent in Hispanic culture. I mean, it's prevalent in many cultures, but it's very prevalent in Hispanic culture. So that's good news about Canelo. So do you have any thoughts, any questions, or anything you would like to say, Chris? Like before we wrap up, anything you want to add?
No, I mean, like I think it's amazing that what you're doing, and I appreciate this opportunity for me to be on your podcast. And yeah, I think that a lot of great things were talked about, and it kind of like refreshed my motivation to keep up with the Coach Pillow Fist thing.
Yeah, I appreciate. I consider it an honor that you said yes and that you'll come on. I think it's a massive tragedy that more people don't follow your channel, and I'm going through this also as somebody who uses the internet a bit for things professionally.
Hmm.
Everybody gets everything for fucking free all the time now.
Hmm.
Anytime they want, they can just click on something and get what they want. And a lot of really important efforts are out there, like on YouTube or whatever, that people aren't paying attention to or don't respond to, or if people like do watch your channel, they can't even subscribe or click the thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
Just like laziness. And I think it's enormously emasculating when men put their whole lives into something and another man watches it and can't even get up off his ass to fucking subscribe or hit the thumbs up. It's just, it devalues another man's effort. And I think this is part of the problem, is that like the internet is like it's like a festival of emasculation. And I mean good masculinity. Do you know what I'm saying? Like good efforts by men. People should be validated for what they're doing and putting their whole life into this shit. You're giving me, like you said in your video, you use the term brain damage, but you've taken brain damage so I can just click on a fucking button and get the information from you. And that's not lost on me. I'm like, this dude took brain damage so I could have this. I will click that thing out for him. Right? Or I will have him on my podcast, because it's bullshit to do it otherwise. And people need to wake up. Like, this shit you're giving is valuable. And I know I've read your comments. Maybe it's only 50 to 100 people sometimes, but almost everyone says the same thing about you. Like, dude, this is so cool. Please keep going. I just wish I could do more. Like, you know, I have you on the podcast. That's great. But, you know, if you were monetized, I would try to support that. Because what you're doing is so valuable.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.